We all grew up hearing tales of intrepid explorers sailing uncharted seas, discovering new lands and conquering the unknown. We learned about how Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas and opened the door for European colonization. But what if I told you that old mate Chris wasn't the first European to set foot on the North American continent? In fact, he was more than 500 years late. A Norse explorer named Leif Erikson had beaten him to the punch by half a millennium. So how did Columbus manage to steal all of Erikson's thunder? Let's find out. It's me, welcome to my channel. And today we re-off on an incredible journey through time as we uncover the fascinating story of how Leif Erikson beat Columbus to America by 500 years. In the year 970 AD, a powerful chieftain named Eric the Red was banished from Iceland. After killing 2 men in a fit of rage, he set his sights on exploring and settling the vast and uncharted territories of the North Atlantic. Gathering a fleet of ships and assembling a crew of eager adventurers, Eric embarked on a perilous voyage into the unknown. Their journey led them to an untamed and forbidding land shrouded in mist and mystery. Yet amidst the challenges and uncertainties that lay ahead, Eric's determination to forge a new life for himself and his followers remained steadfast. With each passing day, the explorers braved treacherous waters and uncharted landscapes, driven by the hope of creating a haven where they could rebuild their lives away from the confines of civilization. As they rounded the rugged coastline of this newfound land, the explorers were greeted by a sight that both captivated and intimidated them. Before them lay a vast expanse of rolling hills, dense forests, and sparkling rivers, a testament to the raw natural beauty that this uninhabited land had to offer. However, beneath this picturesque surface lay the harsh realities of a wilderness untouched by human hands. The explorers realized that they were not just the first to venture into this realm, but also the first to face its untamed forces head-on. With dwindling supplies and the threat of the unforgiving terrain, they were faced with the daunting task of adapting to their surroundings and conquering the challenges that lay before them. As they delved deeper into the heart of this untamed wilderness, the explorers encountered a myriad of obstacles that tested their resilience and determination. The dense undergrowth, coupled with the absence of established trails, made navigation a perilous endeavor. Each step forward was fraught with uncertainty, forcing them to rely on their instincts and their ability to adapt to the ever-changing landscape. Furthermore, the explorers soon realized that they were not alone in this vast wilderness. They came across remnants of ancient settlements, crumbling ruins that bore witness to the footsteps of those who had ventured here before them. These discoveries ignited their curiosity and sparked a desire to unravel the mysteries of these long-forgotten inhabitants, adding another layer of intrigue to their already perilous journey. Upon reaching the shores of Newfoundland, Canada, Eric the Red claimed the land for his king, King Harold Bluetooth of Denmark, naming it Vinland, after the wild grapes they found growing there. The settlement they established became known as Lonceau Meadows, marking the first permanent European settlement in North America, a full 500 years before Columbus arrived. But why is it that Columbus gets all the glory, when it was Erikson who had discovered the land first? Well, it's all because of one very important factor: timing. You see, Erikson had established his settlement in Newfoundland around 998 AD, but news of this discovery didn't reach Europe until centuries later. On the other hand, Columbus's arrival in the Americas, though not the first, was much more well documented and publicized. His voyage was sponsored by the Spanish monarchs, Ferdinand and Isabella, who were eager to establish trade routes to Asia. When Columbus reached the Bahamas on October 12, 1492, he believed he had arrived in India. He sent letters and samples of local plants and animals back to Spain, sparking a wave of excitement and curiosity across Europe. Within a few years, stories of his adventures spread like wildfire, capturing the imaginations of scholars, explorers, and commoners alike. But what makes the story even more fascinating is the reason behind Columbus's successful publicity. You see, during the time of Columbus, the world was obsessed with Asia. The Silk Road had been a major trading route for centuries, bringing immense wealth and exotic goods to those who ventured along its paths. Everyone wanted a piece of that action, but traveling to Asia overland was a long and dangerous journey. Explorers dreamed of finding a faster route to the riches of the East, and many believed that the Earth was round and that the Americas were actually closer to Asia than most people thought. This obsession with Asia created the perfect conditions for Columbus's story to capture the public's imagination. His claims of having reached India, albeit mistakenly, were met with awe and wonder. People couldn't believe that a direct route to Asia could be so easily found. And as the details of his voyages spread, they were captivated by the idea that the world was much smaller than they had thought, and that the riches of the East were now within their grasp. The timing was simply perfect. In contrast, Erikson's voyages took place at a time when the idea of a spherical Earth was still debated. Many Europeans believed the Earth was flat, and the concept of the Americas being part of a larger world was just too radical for them to accept. Moreover, Erikson's accounts of his travels, if they were even written down, were lost or never widely circulated. The lack of concrete evidence and the prevailing belief in a flat Earth hindered the acceptance of Erikson's discovery. It was until centuries later that the scientific understanding of the globe had progressed enough for Erikson's account to be believed. By then, Columbus had already sailed the seas and captured the historical spotlight. It's interesting to note that the Vikings had maintained contact with Ireland and England through trade and raids, and tales of their travels likely reached those shores. However, these accounts failed to gain traction among the broader European population. There are a few reasons for this. Firstly, the Vikings were known as fierce warriors and raiders, and their accounts of exploration may have been overshadowed by their reputation for violence and destruction. People may have been more inclined to believe that the Vikings were interested in pillaging rather than settling new lands. Secondly, the Viking culture had its own mythology and beliefs that often clashed with Christian teachings, which were prevalent in Ireland and England. This cultural divide may have made it difficult for Viking accounts of their travels to be accepted or even recorded accurately. Thirdly, the lack of a centralized system for recording and disseminating knowledge in those times meant that even if accounts of Viking explorations did exist, they may have been lost or remained in obscurity. It's also worth noting that the Irish and English societies were primarily focused on their own struggles and conflicts at the time. Tales of distant lands may have seemed irrelevant or uninteresting compared to the immediate concerns of survival and power struggles. The Vikings' exploration of North America, though real and impactful, simply didn't fit into the narrative that was being constructed in Ireland and England at the time. What's even more fascinating is that the descendants of the Vikings still live in Greenland and Iceland, speaking their own language and preserving many of their cultural traditions. They are a living testament to the impact of their ancestors' voyages and the enduring legacy of Viking exploration. Alright, so now I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about this amazing discovery? And do you know of any other explorers whose discoveries were lost to time? Make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments below. Also, before you head out, please give this video a thumbs up for more captivating journeys through history. Thanks for joining me on this incredible adventure. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring. I'll see you then.